Hey everyone, it is May 4th, 2023, and I've had a bunch of confirmations to what I've been perceiving in the Spirit, been praying over it, and Father has led me to some things that confirm what He's been showing me in the Spirit. First thing that I want to mention is I'm going to try to keep this really short and sweet, so you guys can do your own research. And if you find any other confirmations that line up with this, also please drop comments in the below. Because your comments are definitely helpful. And again, iron sharpens iron, as it says in Proverbs. So what I saw in the Spirit coming was this huge, massive, dark cloud. Dark cloud. And it looked like it reached from the surface of the earth to the very tip top of the firmament, like completely covered. There was no escaping this cloud. And it was skimming across the surface of the earth to fill the whole earth. And it looked kind of like those kind of clouds that you would get, that you see pictures of in the desert when there's a sandstorm coming. Kind of like you could just see it gaining speed and just boiling, rolling towards you, and it just covered everything in its path. That's what I was seeing, and I'm like, Father, okay, something big is coming, and I know that. I know the significance of this year. You've showed me the Jubilee generation. You've showed me all of these things, how they align with your prophecies. What is this that's coming? So I'm just going to touch really briefly on the timeline here. So May 3rd, second Passover, okay? And I don't have the scriptures to show you right now, but I did the study. Second Passover is not when we began the counting of the Omer. The Omer begins with the first Passover. And when I got this confirmation from Father, when he gave me the scripture in Matthew 18, where Yahusha leaves the 99 to go after the one, okay? So the 99 represent those who were clean and undefiled, who were able to participate in the first Passover. So the majority, they've already participated, and so the 99 are already within his fold, right? But there's that one that represents those who might be the outliers, whether they be women who are on their menses, or those who might be unclean for whatever reason. That those are the one that Yahusha goes after to bring them into the fold. So the second Passover is for them, for the one. So the Omer begins counting at the first Passover, and so that would put Shavuot or Pentecost on May 29th. So that said, there was also some things I could see in the Spirit. I kept seeing the moon, look up the moon. He drew my attention very clearly to it last night when I woke up in the middle of the night. And so I started looking at it, and the full moon is tomorrow on Preparation Day. Okay, it is a flower moon is what it's called, but it's also a lunar eclipse. Okay, a lunar eclipse. Now, the next morning, early morning, after the eclipse, King Charles III will be coronated. And they said it will be May 6th at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. When you see it in the news, you can see that everywhere. So they love their sixes, right? But then before I came across this, Father had me just plopped it in my spirit. Look at King Charles' birthday. King Charles was born on November 14, 1948, under the sign of Scorpio. 1948 was the year that Israel became a nation. Okay? You guys see what's lining up here prophecy-wise? Okay? So I'm like sitting here blown away just thinking about, okay, we have a lunar eclipse from the full moon the night before. The next morning, King Charles will be coronated, and he was born under the sign of Scorpio. Those are all significant pieces of the puzzle. Plus the fact that the year he was born was the same year that Israel became a nation. Okay, just recapped all that. Hopefully you're tracking. Then today, Father led me to a couple of videos to confirm what he's been showing me in the Spirit. And I want to show you these, and I'll put the links below so you can examine them yourself. But he showed me a couple of videos and then a Facebook post that all lined up. So I'm going to hit this YouTube video first, and then we'll discuss what we're seeing and how it lines up here.
Hey, Fish. 4th of May, 2023. I do pray you're doing well. I've been trying to get to this because it's just intriguing beyond measure, but boy, I'll tell you what. If you look at these notes, hopefully you'll be able to discern what I'm showing you here. But the reason I'm popping on now is just to quickly share with you about a video that I did back when the Queen died. And on the day of her funeral, there were 230 whales discovered beached in Tasmania, which is Australia, which is one of Great Britain's 14 territories. And on top of the 230 whales, there were also 14 sperm whales.
Okay, I'm getting the attention drawn to this too. 14. King Charles' birthday is the 14th. Okay, another connection. Father's still continuing to reveal things, so keep paying attention, guys.
Discovered beached on King Island, if you can believe that. Okay? But the real kicker is 230 whales, Charles was Prince of Wales, were discovered.
Dragon on the flag of the Prince of the Island of Wales.
The day the Queen was buried, 230 days later to the day is Coronation Day. So you can call that a coincidence. I call it wow. And I really do want to get to the rest of this stuff to share with you guys because it's incredible. It just spells out so many things. Go read Daniel 5 and compare it to what we're seeing now. They worship the gods of stone, and they treat this stone of scone like the Ark of the Covenant. Which will sit under the coronation chair, as to say, the King Charles will be sitting on the mercy seat, and he'll be hidden by a veil. Do you see where I'm going with this? He'll be behind a veil in front of an altar with the Last Supper on it, sitting on the stone which they regard as a form of the ark.
Okay, remember, that veil has a picture of the Last Supper on it. That's going to be important as we go on in this message. Keep paying attention.
This is a ritual of rituals. And I'm telling you what, we really got to pay close attention to what's going on here. Because things truly are about to just kick off seriously.
Agreed. And that's what I've been feeling in the spirit. So, again, study this more than once if you need to see how all the dots line up and connect. But there is so much here. It's packed.
And I'm seriously beginning to look at this as the apostasy, the falling away.
Okay. Now, I'm going to stop right there because this person, who I do believe is on the narrow way, but he just does not see the truth yet about Paul. Okay. Paul gave some very convincing false prophecies that have they've already been fulfilled. Okay. This prophet's got to be convincing. Some of those have got to come to pass, right? But all those things about the apostasy happened with the event of false Apostle Paul coming on the scene. However, let's go back to the notes here so I can show you this other one. Remember, like I said, the Last Supper was on that veil that will be there at the coronation. So watch this.
Got his hands on the table. He's the only one that is at the head of the table. Yeah. Then you have chorus.
Oh,
I don't think
The photo of the lady, look what she's...
Let me try this again. I don't know why it didn't start at the beginning. Let me try this again, guys. Sorry. Don't know what happened there.
that you.
It's the Last Supper.
Okay, the Last Supper. Remember that? The Last Supper.
And look where Jesus is. He's in the middle of the ecliptic in Libra. You see, if you look...
Notice how he said ecliptic. There's a lunar eclipse tomorrow night.
Here, that's Aries. Aries always starts over here. Aries at the head of the table. He's got his hands on the table. He's the only one that is at the head of the table. Yeah. Then you have Taurus. Then you have Gemini. Look at Gemini. What's Gemini?
2 hands. Yep.
Yeah, the twins. Okay, then you have Cancer, the crabby Cancer. He's leaning over. He's pointing to the throat of Virgo, saying, hey, there's no Adam's apple here. This is a girl sign of the zodiac. And he has a knife in his hand here because the crab has it's a crabby, it's got like little pincers in his hand. Leo has his elbow. Look at the elbow of Leo. That's the lion. The lion is the ruler of the zodiac. He's got his elbow on the table. That's rude. That implies... Okay, then you have Virgo, the female. Then you have the sun at the middle of the ecliptic. Look at Libra. What's Libra doing?
Balancing.
Yeah. Look at Scorpio. What's...
That back tail.
Yeah, look at he's pointing his finger up like his tail points upward. Yeah. You always see that tail pointing upward. Look at big Jupiterian Sagittarius, the horse. Very big. Look at the black Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. Look at the dark or the wise old
man.
Aquarius. Look at Pisces with his 2 hands, the 2 fish.
2 fishes. Wow, this is crazy.
So what you're seeing is the Last Supper. Why is it the Last Supper? Well, because the sun has to die. That's where the sun is, on the 23rd of September. What's the 23rd of September called in Jewish? Judgment Day. Every year, where the sun, on his Last Supper, because tomorrow he will die, right next to Libra, is because the sun dies here because it has to go down to hell.
Yeah.
Down to winter. Hell is inferno. Winter is inverno. So when you go to hell, you don't go to a hot place. It's a cold place. It's winter. So the sun, that's the Last Supper. That's Judgment Day. In Libra, the scales of judgment, that's where the sun sets. That's the symbol of Libra, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the sun setting. Even Omega in Greek, that's the sun setting.
Okay, on the Omega, here's the other thing too. Right now in the United States, we have what they're calling the Omega block. There is an Omega block in the same exact shape as the Omega, hovering over the United States, which is causing all sorts of weather trouble to come. Like, it's going to be bad. And so that's another coincidence, or not coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidence. It's another point that lines up with what's happening this week.
Omega means big O. Who's big O? The sun. Remember we said
Big O, the sun. Guess what? The Omega block over the United States is his judgment. Goodness.
the sun was Sol Invictus, and the moon is mono.
Yeah.
That's Latin for alone. That's Greek for alone. And then you take that O off and you've got Solomon, the temple of Solomon, the temple of the sun and the moon. It's the ecliptic. This is the temple. And so when Jesus dies at the Last Supper, He's been living here with his disciples. He's had a great time.
Yeah.
And then he has to have the Last Supper. And what do they eat at the Last Supper? The bread and the wine. Well, Virgo is the wine season. Libra, Virgo is the bread season. You harvest your grains here in August, September. September is the wine season. And so here's what's on the table: the bread and the wine.
Exactly.
And the sun is in the middle saying, tomorrow I'll be dead. Please remember me. It's the Last Supper. Jesus is. He's in the...
Okay, guys. So that's a lot. And I'm sorry for the start and the stop of the videos and everything, but that is really a lot. Here's even another one too. I'm going to click on this Facebook post because this was also sent to me by a sister after I shared with her my thoughts of what was going on. And here what we're seeing, and it's very true. Usually we hear, the whole world hears about what's going on in the palace, right? Everybody hears what's going on in the palace. But things have been very, very, very quiet lately. There's not been a whole lot of news coming out of Buckingham Palace. And it's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's really interesting here. So, again, remember coronation, what we talked about in the first video, some of the signs leading up to it. Yes, it's very, very interesting. And when you look at the sign and the crest, see the dragon. I mean, you guys, if you study the book of Daniel and you read about what the beast looks like, all those things, you will see all of these jumping out at you in prophecy. Okay? All of these are jumping out in prophecy. All of this is lining up, starting off in this next week. Also, to another note that Father wants me to point out as well, is that June tends to be the month that Satan really displays his pride, if you understand what I'm saying. Pride month. There's a lot that goes on, a lot of evil that goes on in that month. So we're going to be going through May, wrapping up to June. There's been a lot of other signs I've seen where here in the United States, truckers are starting to put out information that the freight is slowing down. Not much is getting moved out compared to what it's been. They've been warning about this for over a year, and now it's starting to happen. There's going to be a lot more famine, a lot more shortages, a lot more crazy weather patterns, because like I said, we have the Omega block over us. There's a lot coming, my friends, and I would not be a worthy servant. I would not be an obedient servant if I didn't give this to you, because I feel it so heavy in my spirit. I've been feeling so heavy this week in the spirit. So heavy this week. And I just continue to receive revelation that continues to push me forward, giving me hope to continue moving forward, to know that there is going to be our King is coming, guys. Our King is coming. Yahusha is coming. But there is going to be that deception first. Those who believe in the false image of the beast, Jesus Christ, they're going to be deceived. There's going to be more deception to come. But it's getting about ready to kick off, guys. It really is. So I pray that you will all stay close to Yahuwah in prayer. Whatever you must do to get your house in order. If there's any other last minute or sins you've been hanging on for a while, if there's anything at all, do a life review with Yahuwah, and whatever you need to set right with him now. It's time to do a life review with him and to be solidly on the rock, because the storm is coming.